And, you know, in Paul and Silas's life, the change in prison was real. Yet in our lives, we can end up with some change and feel like we're in bondage as well. So in the same way that Paul and Silas sang praises and prayed, and the prisoners heard them, we can use the power of praise in our lives to get loose for some change. Amen. And get out of some bondage.
Amen. So Paul and Silas, they didn't just go to sleep. They didn't just you know, have a sour attitude about, you know, look
at what all I've done.
And
I'm out there serving you, and here I am.
And where is my God when I need him? No. They turned that around. And again, last week on the show, you talked about Hebrews chapter 13, verse 15, that talks about a sacrifice of praise. But I'm not so sure it was such a sacrifice for Paul and Silas. I think it was a lifestyle for those guys.
Exactly.
Whether, because I think Paul goes on to say, you know, I know what it's like to be in abundance, and I know what it's like to be in lack, but I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
In every state that I find myself in, I can be content, is what Paul says. And then he can, and then further in that verse, he says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I agree with you 100% that was certainly a lifestyle of praise that Paul and Silas had. And I've said this before, and you probably have heard me say it, that entering into a lifestyle of praise, I believe oftentimes starts with a sacrifice of praise. Because when we come into this revelation, we don't know exactly how to do it, you know, how this thing works. You know, we're just obeying God. Okay, I'm gonna give God a sacrifice of praise. But when you practice it, work that muscle, as you talked about last week, you work that muscle, get that praise muscle built up, it then turns into a lifestyle.